Hey guys, it's Phil and Matt here from the Next72 Hours, and we are doing a quick video on the Next72 Hours Personal Survival Kit which we've been putting together. You saw a video earlier on where we talked about doing a giveaway for our 200 subscribers, and this is the sort of finalised test kit that we've done that we're going to send out to a couple of people to review for us and make sure that they're give us their opinions and see what they think about it. So the first item, of course, is the Trangia mess tin.
And I think, Phil, that's actually really sets the whole kit apart. To be honest, if you look at a lot of the commercial kits, it's even today we went into Anaconda and had a look at some of the stuff they have there, and really the actual container that they're actually housing the kit in, not one single one of them was actually usable other than initially housing the contents.
For sure. So yeah, the mess tin is the Trangia 210 mess kit here. This is a new one which we'll make the kit out of once it's ready to go out for the competition. And is this your one?
Well, that's the other one we had. My old one's a little bit more beaten up. Had that for a few years.
So basically it's a mess tin with handle. The handle can come off if need be for storage, but in this case it will come attached. Alright, so we'll go through some of the items, all of the items that we've got in here. Obviously you've got the tin itself that's got a tray, you could obviously eat off that or fry off it. You've got the bottom bit here which you could boil water in and cook in as well.
Yep.
Yep, the first item, this is a bandana in the fluoro yellow, obviously nice, bright, good for gaining attention, a multitude of uses. This may or may not be the final one that we put in the kit, this colour, but it will be. This is 100% cotton, and we'll have a bandana on it.
Yeah, okay, so that's a great thing, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of YouTubes, which some of them quite ridiculous to be honest, but there's a lot of YouTubes on how many uses you can get out of a bandana. So, you know, check out, do a search on 101 uses for a bandana, and you'll see what I mean. So like Phil touched on the water component, so you can boil water in the Trangia, you can filter the water pre-boiling with the bandana, and you can then, that first item that I'll mention, because it sort of flows through on the whole water idea, is the 3 litre, 3 or 4, I can always forget, 3 litre, isn't it?
I think this one's 3 litre.
3 litre GMG self standing pack here, so you can boil the water and put it straight into the plastic bag. This is a second hand one, well, obviously you can see it's well folded and well used, so we'll replace it with probably with 2 litre bags. So that's the water side of things, pretty much handled.
The next item obviously is a thermal emergency blanket, or a survival blanket as they're called. This is more the shelter side of it. We did build a little shelter with one of these, and it withstood quite a few, well, we pulled it down in the end, so quite a long time it stood up outside.
With a lot of strong winds and storms and stuff like that. And
we reinforced the sides of this with some of this tape here. So this is in bright high-vis orange, and before we put a hole in it to put the cord through it, we taped up the corners, and that way it didn't rip the blanket.
Yes.
So there's quite a large length of tape in this one here. Of course that also has a multitude of uses. We're including a folding blade. This is just one that was given to me by not you, not me, but we've actually decided on a smaller one for the final kit, which will be this Gerber paraframe knife here.
Just gives us a little bit of extra room in the kit.
Okay, what do we want to look at next? In here we've got the mini
Signalling mirror.
Signalling mirror here. We've done a video on that, but we've got to really update that. This is a great wee piece of kit.
Yeah.
This one obviously has been used. We've tested it out. It's a bit scratched up, but it's and it's got the plastic on the back, plastic on the front's gone. But the final one obviously will have a brand new mirror. But this is just purely for the testing purposes for this kit to go out. Comes in a little pouch here. It's got some sort of, what do you call that? A very soft velvety inside, which is supposed to stop the actual mirror from getting scratched. Although you'd probably leave the plastic on the front of it until you actually had to use it if need be.
Yeah.
Moving along, we've got a small LED torch here.
It's white.
Now we've done a little review on this one as well. It provides quite a long burn time. It's got an on-off switch as well for convenience.
Yes, so you're going to leave it on.
Well, they proved me wrong. It's not gonna. Well, it does have an on-off switch, but it's not gonna do it for me now. Of course, this one's been battered around. We've used this a lot for testing, so obviously there'll be a new one with the kit, and one of our Acme whistles that we sell on the website in high-vis orange. Of course, this is a SOLAS Safety of Life at Sea approved whistle. It's a peerless design, very loud.
Yep. Good for using in a water environment, obviously. So not that this kit's designed for a lifeboat. Hopefully this is a terrestrial kit. You won't be striking many fires in the middle of the ocean, but wanted to grab the paracord.
Yep. I've got some paracord here in black. Matthew's wrapped it up very nicely.
Yeah. How many meters was it? We measured it off. Was it 6?
6 meters. Yep.
Yep. So a fair amount of cordage. Of course, you would use this straight up. You would use it to build your shelter. Now the thing with the shelter in Queensland here, we have obviously pretty mild weather compared to some areas. So the thermal blanket equally applies to protecting us from the sun and heat, as opposed to the rain. Of course, you know, in some areas too, up in the hills, you can get a bit rain. You can get quite cold in winter, and of course there's the risk of hypothermia. And so when you do the shelter construction, the reason why I bring that up is, of course, these working together, conjunction together, cut off a half a meter and pull out the strands, and or a meter or whatever you want to do, and tie each corner down and peg it down and build yourself a little shelter. You can then use you know, a fire to reflect heat onto your body. So that's the point of these items.
Yeah, you've got 6 meters there, so if you cut off a meter of this for the shelter, you've got 7 meters of strand inside, plus the external sheath, which is strong in itself.
Yeah.
And then 5 meters of cordage left for maybe using
anything else
for whatever you want to do.
Yeah. The of course those strands you can be used for setting snares, twitch up traps, all that sort of stuff. Of course, only in a survival situation are you allowed to do that. The other thing I wanted to point out is the first thing you would want to do, since this is probably the most important item in, well, personally I consider this one of the most important items, probably that in the actual kit, the can and the fire striker would be my 3 main items that I'd want, is that you'd want to tie a bit of string to your person. So, sorry, you'd want to tie the knife to your person. So you might want to cut a meter off this, and then to make sure, maybe just with the cur mantle on the outside, tie it to your knife and tie it to your belt or around your neck or something, so you make sure you don't lose your knife.
The next thing we've included is a ferro rod. Obviously, again, this is a test one. It's a rather large one, and well, prove me wrong, it's attached on this little, well, that's embarrassing, but
Yeah, let me try.
yeah.
Give it a go. Well, it's got, this is like a, I'm never particularly happy with the strikers that you get. There we go. You get it. It is strike. Yeah, so we did burn a little hole on the table there. So yeah, the strikers that come with the actual, I'm never happy with them, to be honest. I would always want something else, but that seemed to do the job okay.
If it wasn't attached to that, it would have been better, I think.
Yeah, and also of course you've got the knife. If you back of the blade, you could you can prep that and put a bit of a sharp edge on the back.
We've sort of done up a small fishing kit here. I've done a video on it before, you can check that out. There's 9 hooks here attached under this duct tape. You've got 30 meters of no sorry, 30 foot, so 10 meters of line here, and a number of various different sized sinkers.
Yeah.
What do they call those, sinkers?
Yeah.
Sinkers here to attach, and of course if you need longer you can also use some of the strands of your paracord for that.
And there's enough to set a few set lines. The reason why, I mean, this is an optional extra in most survival kits. Now you think to yourself, we got what SES expect to, you know, someone to, if they know that someone's in an area, a couple of days you'd want to until rescue. And we do know of instances where people haven't been, no one's been aware that they've been lost and survived quite a long time in the bush. So this is really like an optional extra. It's not like an essential component to the kit. The reason we included it was, I don't think I've uploaded it, but I did actually do some testing of bushmade hooks and gorges, which you see in all sorts of survival books. And I was fishing for tilapia or carp, I can't quite remember, in Indonesia. And the fish would strike at the baits, but I did not have a single successful hookup. So very frustrating, spent like a day and a half trying to design different hooks from nature. And in the end, if you had that opportunity to present, you had fish available, you'd want to have a genuine fish hook. Pretty much everything else can be improvised. The nylon's a great advantage too, because you know it's not a big ugly piece of self-made cordage. So the sinkers aren't essential, but again, because we have the little kit set up, we added those as well. I think that's about it on that. You can actually use the kit to catch birds too, so it's not just about fish. If you bait hooks and leave them out, you can actually catch birds as well.
In a survival situation.
In a survival situation.
Well, you're going to go over this and say you...
Well, I did actually add this single candle. Now, you'll see on a lot of survival sites, they'll have pink lady candles or, you know, long stem candles. Now, you get the little bit of wind and the burn time on those things are like 5 minutes. So, you know, this is probably about an hour's burn time on this candle. So for the same amount of wax, same amount of space, you've got an hour's burn time. Now, the whole point of this is, you know, you start a fire and for whatever reasons you might not be confident that you can, you might want to transfer the fire, for whatever reason. You know, you might just, it's a bit of extra safety. Put this in the ground a little bit, dig a hole, get a little, this lit, put it in the hole there so the wind can't blow it out, and you know, go on to build your fire, just in case you have any troubles. You don't have to go through the whole fire drill method or striking up something method. And you could get your little tinder bundle, light this, and then light your actual more difficult to light if it's wet or something like that. Your actual get your fire going. So it's a little bit of extra safety, and I definitely think that actually is really worth the space. We also have Phil's little, what do you call them?
Fire starters.
Fire starters, where you actually munched up the end there. So they work very much the same as the candle, but you know, it's a one-off use. Obviously you don't blow them out. They will help really dry out some wet tinder and get your fire going. So you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 in the packet. That's 6 fires, and of course you don't let your fire go out and then restart it every single time. You keep that fire going. So you know that's a.
Found these will burn for about 10 minutes each, 10 to 13 minutes.
Yeah.
So
if you can't dry a bit of tinder out with that, you're probably in a monsoon. So.
Alright guys, so we're back again. We had a bit of a glitch with the old camera, and we're on to the last item that's in our survival kit, personal survival kit here. Last but not least, of course, is the 1200 calorie survival emergency food bar from Mainstay. This is 1200 calories. It's broken into 3 squares. Each square represents 400 calories or 1 meal for the day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, etc, etc. They've got a 5-year shelf life. They're fortified with a whole lot of vitamins. Each serving has as much as 50% of the requirement for the day, so you're well and truly getting the vitamins you need. They're not thirst provoking, so they're actually made for use on lifeboats and those sorts of situations, but it fits really nicely in the kit. It's a good wee addition to it. Of course, personal survival kits, personal for a reason. You can choose to keep it or not keep it in your kit. If you didn't keep it, you'd be freeing up a lot of space to put other things in there that you might think are better, for example.
So what other things you might consider, Phil? I mean, personally, I would consider maybe a larger knife than the Gerber one that we're including. Possibly maybe some snares or set up. A little bit of a knife sharpening steel, because I tell you what, when you're using a knife all the time, it will go blunt pretty quick. So there's some of the other things I would consider, and of course you can actually have those on your person as well, because in this giveaway we'll have a sleeve for this to go into, and you can include other items in that sleeve if they don't fit in there. So anyway,
yeah,
there's
there's
a couple of ideas.
of things you could replace.
I think the other thing we were going to talk about too was on the mainstay bar. First off, if you don't have any water, don't eat. And secondly, if you're lost and you've just had a buffet, breakfast at Sizzlers and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, don't break into the mainstay bar till a little while later, okay, guys? I think you're going to be okay. So, don't freak out and go and eat the whole thing for breakfast, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's tasty enough that you probably would eat this for breakfast in one hit if you could, but it's definitely got a lot of energy in it. We've done some videos on it where we did a 3-day trial each.
Yeah.
Just eating this, it's pretty tasty, but not so good that
you want to be on it for a lifetime. But
the other thing is, we've definitely been on searches, on search and rescue or SES searches for people, and who go hiking on pretty interestingly remote trails and things with no food, no water. The most recent one was no food and very little clothing, and not letting anyone know where they're going. And to have something like this just stuck away in your kit to forget about it, you got 5 years. I mean, that would have got that guy through the night quite comfortably.
And also, like, if he did have no clothing, he's got the, and it got cold, he's got the thermal blanket, and he could light a fire, and
could have signalled the helicopter a lot sooner than he did.
Yeah. All
those sorts of things. So, it's up to your own sort of decision what you want to keep in here and not keep in here. But this is what we'll be sending out with the kit. We'll flick it off to the first person probably tomorrow and get their ideas on what they think about it, and then when it comes back we'll flick it off to someone else, and then hopefully
we'll take on their advice and fine tune or not.
Yep.
Depending on if we agree with what they're saying. So
then we'll be ready to go ahead with the giveaway. And we've got a whole lot of stuff. This is a part of the first prize with a few other goodies in it as well.
Yeah, so some of the other things we're going to give away are like a little personal body care kit.
Yep.
It's got like a lip balm or healing balm. It's got foot powder and natural mosquito repellent. That's some of the things we'll be adding, and we went through that in another video. So that was only the additional items we're planning to give away as well that we didn't mention in the last video.
Alright, so stay tuned. We'll see what the other two people think about it, and then hopefully maybe by the end of the week.
Yeah, well, it depends on when they get back to us. So
see how it pans out, but we'll
probably not by the end of the week, because the second person lives a little way away, so and they wanted to take it away on an overnight hike. So we'll keep in touch anyway.
Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Again, we appreciate all your views, comments and subscriptions.
Yep.
And we'll keep trying to
deliver some good stuff.
Cheers.
Catch you guys later.